I heard my daughter-in-law, Linda, on the phone that night. She didn't know I was awake. "I love him," she said softly, "but I'm exhausted. I don't know how much longer I can do this." Those words changed everything for me. But here I am, 8 months later, living independently for $780 a month. No nursing home, no burdening my family. Still cooking my own meals, making my own choices, living on my terms. Let me tell you how I made it work. I didn't fall. That's what I kept telling myself. My name is Walter Harris. I'm 73 years old. I'd been living alone in my Portland apartment for 4 years, ever since my wife Barbara passed. And I was managing just fine. Until that night. It was 3 a.m. I got up to use the bathroom. The floor was cold under my feet. I reached for the sink to steady myself, and my hand slipped. For one terrifying second, I felt myself going down. I grabbed the towel rack. It held. I caught myself. But my heart was racing. My hands were shaking. I stood there in the dark, thinking, this is how it happens. This is how old people end up in the hospital. 2 days later, my son Michael showed up at my door. Mid-40s, works in tech, always worried about me. He had that look on his face, the one that says, we need to talk. "Dad, Linda and I have been thinking." He sat down at my kitchen table. "What happened the other night? It scared us." "I didn't fall," I said. "But you could have." He leaned forward. "What if next time you're not so lucky? What if you hit your head?" I didn't have a good answer. "Come stay with us for a while," he said. "Just temporarily, until you're steadier on your feet." I wanted to say no. I'd been making my own decisions for 73 years. I didn't need someone watching over me. But I also couldn't stop thinking about that moment. My hand slipping. The cold floor rushing up. "Let me think about it," I told him. That weekend, Linda called. Early 40s, always kind to me, always trying to help. "Walter, we'd love to have you. The guest room is ready. It's just until you feel more stable." Just until. Those words made it sound temporary, manageable. Before we go any further, please hit that like button and subscribe. This channel shares stories that can change how you think about aging. I agreed to move in. Michael helped me pack 2 weeks later. I stood in my apartment, looking at the furniture I'd lived with for decades. The chair where Barbara used to read. The kitchen where we'd had coffee every morning. I was only taking 2 suitcases. "It's temporary," Michael said, seeing my face. I nodded. But as I locked the door behind me, I felt something shift. My independence wasn't just behind that door. It was slipping away with every step toward Michael's car. I told myself it was the responsible choice. I told myself it would only be a few weeks. I was wrong on both counts. The first 3 weeks at Michael's house in Beaverton felt manageable. I had my own room. Linda was welcoming. My granddaughter Emma, 13 years old, seemed happy to have me around. Then the small adjustments started. One evening at dinner, I reached for the salt shaker. Linda's hand touched my arm gently. "Walter, maybe go easy on the salt. Your blood pressure." She was right, of course. My doctor had mentioned it. But it was my salt, my blood pressure, my choice. "Sure," I said, and put the shaker down. The next week, I needed to run to the pharmacy. I grabbed Michael's car keys from the hook by the door. "Dad, hold on." Michael looked up from his laptop. He works from home 3 days a week. "Can you check with me before you take the car? I might need it." "I'm just going to Walgreens. 20 minutes." "I know, but still. Just check first, okay?" I handed the keys back. I walked to the pharmacy instead. 45 minutes round trip. Dinner was at 6 o'clock sharp every night. If I wasn't hungry at 6, it didn't matter. That's when we ate. One Thursday evening, I was watching a documentary in the living room. Emma came in with her math homework. "Grandpa, I need to use the TV. I have to watch this video for school." I looked at the clock. 7:30. My show had 20 minutes left. "Can you wait a bit?" I asked. Linda appeared in the doorway. "Walter, she has homework due tomorrow. You can finish your show later." I picked up the remote and turned it off. The rules kept coming. Small ones, reasonable ones. Don't leave dishes in the sink overnight. Put your shoes by the door, not in the hallway. Let us know if you're going for a walk. Use the handrail on the stairs every time. Each rule made sense. Each one was for my own good. But together, they formed walls. One afternoon, I heard Linda on the phone in the kitchen. I was in the hallway coming back from a walk in the neighborhood park. "I love him, I really do," she said. "But it's like having 3 kids now. I have to think about everything twice." I stopped walking, stood there in the hallway. "He's a good man," Linda continued, "but I'm exhausted." I went to my room quietly, closed the door. That night, I sat on the edge of the guest bed. It was 8:30 in the evening. The house was quiet. Michael and Linda were watching something in their bedroom. Emma was doing homework. I wasn't tired. I wanted to make tea and sit in the living room, read for a while. But I didn't want to disturb anyone. Didn't want to be in the way. So I sat in the guest room, alone. That's when it hit me. I wasn't living with family. I was living in someone else's house, following someone else's rules, on someone else's schedule. I traded my independence for safety. But I hadn't gained family closeness. I'd become a guest. And guests, no matter how loved, are still outsiders. After the first month, I sat down with Linda at the kitchen table. "I want to contribute," I said. "For groceries, utilities, everything. How about $800 a month?" Linda hesitated. "Walter, you don't have to." "I'm not a charity case. I'm living here. I should pay my share." She looked uncomfortable. "Okay, if you insist. 800 is fine." I wrote the check that afternoon. It felt good. I wasn't a burden. I was contributing. 2 weeks later, I walked into the bathroom and stopped. New grab bars on the walls, non-slip mats in the shower, a raised toilet seat I hadn't asked for. "Linda, what's all this?" She smiled. "Safety features. We want you to be comfortable." "I didn't ask for these. How much did they cost?" "Don't worry about it. It's done." I found the receipt later that week. $1,200. I thought about my $800 payment. Suddenly it felt like nothing. One evening, I came back from my walk in the neighborhood, passed by their bedroom. The door was cracked open. I heard Michael's voice, tight with stress. "We can't afford the remodel and support him, Linda. We have to choose." "I know." Linda sounded tired. "But what are we supposed to do? Tell him to leave?" "The kitchen has needed work for 3 years. We finally saved $15,000. Now it's just sitting there." I kept walking, went to my room, closed the door. They'd been planning a kitchen remodel. Now they weren't. Because of me. The next Saturday, I went to Safeway to pick up a few things. My own groceries. Toothpaste, soap, some snacks I liked. At checkout, I pulled out my wallet. Linda appeared beside me. "Walter, I've got this. It's my stuff. I can pay. You already contribute $800 a month. This is covered." The cashier waited. People behind us in line were watching. "Linda, please, Let me pay for my own groceries. Her jaw tightened. Put your wallet away. She swiped her card. I stood there, holding my items, feeling like a child. We drove home in silence. That night, I did the math. $800 a month. The grab bars were $1,200. They bought my groceries, paid the extra utilities from my showers and lights, washed my clothes with theirs. My Social Security was $2,200 a month. I was giving them $800, keeping $1,400 for myself. But I wasn't covering my actual costs. And worse, I was costing them their plans, their kitchen, their money they'd saved for 3 years. I lay in the guest bed, staring at the ceiling. I'd wanted to contribute, to not be a burden, to pay my fair share. But there was no fair share. My presence cost more than money. It cost them their space, their time, their plans, their future. $800 a month couldn't fix that. I'd thought paying rent would make me equal. A roommate, not a dependent. I was wrong. No amount of money could change the fact that I was someone they had to manage, worry about, adjust their lives around. I wasn't paying to live there. I was paying to be someone's responsibility. 3 months in, I couldn't sleep. It was 11 o'clock at night. I got up for water. That's when I heard Linda's voice in the kitchen. She was on the phone. I stopped in the hallway. I know I should be grateful, Linda said quietly. He's Michael's father. He's a good man. But I'm losing myself here. Silence while her sister spoke. Every decision runs through him now, Linda continued. What we eat, when we eat, whether we go out. I can't just live anymore. I have to manage. More silence. I love him. I really do. But I'm exhausted. I don't know how much longer I can do this. I stood there in the dark hallway. Those words landed like stones in my chest. I went back to my room without getting water. Lay in bed, eyes open. Linda loved me. I believe that. Michael loved me too. But love wasn't enough. Love didn't make this sustainable. Love didn't erase the fact that I'd disrupted their entire lives. They'd never say it directly. They were too kind, too dutiful. But I'd heard the truth. The next morning, I found Michael in the kitchen. He was making coffee. Linda had already left for work. Michael, I need to talk to you. He turned. What's up, Dad? I'm moving back to my apartment. His face shifted. What? Why? Did something happen? Nothing happened. But this isn't working. Not for any of us. Dad, we want you here. You want me safe, I said. That's different than wanting me here. Michael set down his coffee mug. That's not fair. Isn't it? I looked at him. Be honest with me. Has this been easy? He didn't answer right away. I didn't think so, I said. It's an adjustment, Michael said carefully. For everyone. But we're managing. You're managing. That's the problem. You shouldn't have to manage your father like he's another chore on your list. I don't think of you that way. Maybe not. But Linda does. And she's right too. Michael's shoulders dropped slightly. I saw something in his eyes. Relief, maybe. Or just exhaustion. I heard her on the phone last night, I said quietly. I wasn't trying to listen, but I heard. He closed his eyes. Dad, I'm sorry. She's just tired. She has every right to be tired. I live in your house. I eat your food. I changed everything about your routine. And you're both too kind to say it's too much. Michael sat down at the table, ran his hands through his hair. I don't want you to feel unwelcome, he said. I don't feel unwelcome. I feel like a guest who's overstayed. That's worse. We sat in silence for a moment. I'll start packing this week, I said. I can be out by Saturday. Where will you go? Back to my apartment. It's still mine. I never gave it up. Michael looked at me. I saw worry in his face. But underneath it, I saw relief. That hurt more than anything. Not because he didn't love me, but because this solution we'd all thought was right had been wrong from the start. Loving families can still be the wrong answer. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is leave. I moved back into my Portland apartment on a Saturday. Michael helped carry my suitcases up the stairs. We didn't talk much. When he left, I stood in my living room. Same furniture, same quiet. Same apartment I'd left 3 months ago. I felt relief. Real relief. But I also felt the weight of reality. The bathroom where I'd almost fallen was still there. The stairs were still steep. I was still 73 years old, still living alone. Nothing had actually changed. 2 weeks later, I was coming home from a walk. Saw my neighbor on the stairs, struggling with grocery bags. She was in her late 60s, gray hair, breathing hard. "Let me help," I said, reaching for a bag. "Oh, thank you." She handed me 2 bags. "I'm Dorothy, Unit 2B. Walter, 3C. We climbed the stairs together. At her door, she paused. "Would you like some coffee?" she asked. "Yes, thanks." I followed her inside. Her apartment was similar to mine, tidy, quiet, too quiet. "I moved here 2 years ago," Dorothy said, pouring coffee. "After my husband passed, retired librarian. This place is cheaper than our old house." "How much is rent here?" I asked. $850 a month. You?" $780. She nodded. "It's affordable, but it's lonely, isn't it?" I looked at her. She had kind eyes, sad eyes. "Yeah," I said. "It is. And the maintenance." Dorothy gestured at her kitchen sink. "My faucet's been dripping for a month. I can't fix it myself. Can't afford a plumber for every little thing." I walked over and looked under her sink. "It's just a washer. I could fix this in 10 minutes. "Really?" "I worked in maintenance for 30 years. This is easy." Dorothy smiled. "I'd pay you. Don't." An idea was forming. "But here's a thought. What if we helped each other?" She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" "I can fix things, handle repairs, change light bulbs, deal with anything that breaks. You're a good cook?" "I love cooking. But cooking for one person feels pointless." "So cook for 2, I said. "I'll fix what breaks around here. You make dinner a few nights a week. We both save money. We both have company." Dorothy stared at me. "You're serious?" "Completely. No money changes hands. Just neighbors helping neighbors." She was quiet for a moment. Then she smiled. "When can you start?" That afternoon, I fixed her faucet. She invited me for dinner that Thursday. Sitting at her table, eating homemade lasagna, I realized something. For 3 months at Michael's house, I'd been someone who needed help. Someone to manage. Someone to worry about. Here, I was someone who gave help. Dorothy needed me. Not to take care of me. She needed what I could do. My skills. My time. My company. I wasn't looking for someone to help me live alone. I was looking for a way to still matter. That made all the difference. 8 months later, I'm still here. Still in my apartment. Still living on my own terms. This morning, Dorothy texted me. Her bathroom sink was clogged. I grabbed my tools and went downstairs. Took me 20 minutes to clear the drain. "Come for dinner tonight?" she asked. "I'm making pot roast." "I'll be there at 6. This is how it works now. 4 or 5 times a week, Dorothy cooks. I eat with her. We talk. We watch Jeopardy together. 3 or 4 times a week, I fix something. A loose door hinge. Her laptop acting up. I helped her figure out how to video call her daughter in Chicago. Last week, I walked her cat while she was at a doctor's appointment. It's not a formal arrangement. No contract, no money. Just two neighbors helping each other stay independent. Michael visited last month. I invited him up to my apartment for coffee. "You seem good, Dad," he said, looking around. "Really good." "I am." "And this thing with your neighbor, it's working out?" "It is." He seemed skeptical. "But what if something happens? What if you fall again?" "Then Dorothy will check on me. She has a key. I have hers." "That's it? That's your safety plan?" "Michael, there is no perfect safety plan. Not at my age, not at any age." He was quiet. "I could live in a nursing home," I said. 24-hour care, nurses everywhere. And I could still fall. I could still have a heart attack. Safety isn't guaranteed anywhere. "I know, but what I have here is better than safety. I have purpose. Dorothy needs me. I need her. We take care of each other." Michael looked at me for a long moment. Then he nodded. "You're happier than you were at our house?" "I am." "I'm sorry that didn't work out." "Don't be sorry. You tried. We all tried. Some things just don't work, even when everyone means well." He smiled a little. "Mom would have liked Dorothy." "Yeah," I said. "She would have." Now, let me be clear. I'm not saying everyone should do exactly what I did. I'm 74 now. I'm aging. I'm slower than I was. My knees hurt. I forget things sometimes. This arrangement with Dorothy isn't perfect. It won't solve everything. Someday, I might need more help than she can give. But for now, it works. And here's what I learned. First, independence doesn't mean isolation. I thought living alone meant doing everything myself. It doesn't. It means choosing who you depend on and how. Second, family love doesn't always mean living together. Michael loves me. Linda loves me. But love doesn't make incompatible living situations compatible. Sometimes the most loving thing is honest distance. Third, community matters more than I realized. I don't need my family to manage my life. I need people around me who see me as useful, not just needy. Fourth, the question isn't where should you live when you get old. The question is, how can you still contribute? How can you still matter? When I was at Michael's house, I was someone to take care of. Here I'm someone who takes care of things. That difference saved me. I still live in Portland. Still pay $780 a month in rent. Still make my own coffee every morning. Still decide when to go to bed, what to eat, how to spend my day. Dorothy and I have dinner tonight. Tomorrow, I'm fixing her closet door. It's not the life I imagined at 74. It's better. If this story resonated with you, please like this video, subscribe, and share it. I'd love to hear from you. What's your plan for staying independent as you age? Leave a comment below. Independence isn't about doing everything alone. It's about finding people who need what you can give.